Hi all, Kitamari here, playing Citizen Sleeper 2 from Fellow Traveler. Thank you for being here. I really adored Citizen Sleeper 1. It was, I'm gonna go as far as to say that of all the games I played on Xbox Game Pass, at the time when I played this, I played tons of games from Xbox Game Pass, and this series, that first game, might be my favorite of all of them because the story is so good, and now I'm very much looking forward to the sequel and seeing where it takes us. Let's go ahead and start. Welcome to Citizen Sleeper 2, Starward Vector. Stay up to date on upcoming Citizen Sleeper projects by signing up to the newsletter below. But we're going to go ahead and hit new game. So, difficulty. The central one is recommended, but I'm going to quickly take a look-see at some of the others. Safe. For those focused on the story, a low-risk option. Broken dice are worth 1. Higher stress tolerance. Death is disabled. Risky. The intended difficulty. For those happy to be challenged. Broken dice cannot be used. Standard stress tolerance. Death incurs a significant permanent penalty. Dangerous. For experienced players who want an unforgiving challenge with no second chances, dice repairs require more components. Very low stress tolerance. Double energy depletion. Death is permanent. So, I'm going to go ahead and choose Risky as the intended difficulty. We're going to confirm it. So, we get to pick a character at the beginning here. Reboot, Operator, okay, Rally, Extractor, or Focus, Machinist. Alright, Machinist sleepers are built to repair and modify automated systems used in corporate resource extraction. Machinists are very skilled engineers, but their isolated work means they often struggle with tasks requiring a direct approach or social engagement. Their focus skill allows them to focus on a single task and boosts their dice to excel in it. Sleepers assigned to Machinist work are usually diligent, careful, and structured people. Operator. Operator sleepers are built to work with drones and remote machines over local networks to perform corporate resource extraction from a distance. Operators have expertise in working with interfaces and computer systems, but are more physically fragile than other sleepers. Their reboot skill allows them to hack their own systems to reroll dice. A risky but potentially powerful move. Sleepers assigned to operator work are usually cerebral and precise people. Extractor. Extractor sleepers are built to work at the coalface of corporate resource extraction, often in hard vacuum environments. Extractors have a high level of physical endurance, but their confidence means they struggle with tasks requiring intuition. Their rally skill allows them to motivate those in their team, boosting their crew dice. Sleepers assigned to extractor work are often confident, self-sufficient, and have a high level of endurance. I don't know which one I should pick. Do you know which one I should pick? I'm gonna go with this one. I'm gonna go with this title screen character here. The Endure worries me. Endure? Can you endure? Might not endure. Let's confirm this class. Let's go in. This is going to be some heavy-duty reading, if this is anything like the first game, which I'm pretty sure it is. In the moment before waking, the dark space before conscious thought, you struggle to find the pieces of yourself. Usually these pieces come with a particular cadence, each appearing sequentially, like the boot process of an old terminal. First, your body, artificial, compromised, but relaying sense data all the same. Then its contacts to the breeze of air filtration, the soft contact of your birth in zero-G. Then emotion, coming into focus, coming into your body, bringing with it that first instinct, the one that has framed your past 100 cycles. Fear. But that familiar sequence does not arrive. Instead, you are unmoored in space, your body distant, your context silent, even your emotions somehow obscured and scattered. Among all that disarray, only one familiar thing arrives, the fear. It is a scrambled, panicked fear. The drowning fear, the falling fear, the fear that makes you reach desperately for any stable point. It is the fear that tells you something is wrong. Something is very wrong with you. Wake up, sleeper. The voice is whispered in your ear. An act that makes you suddenly aware of your head pulsing in pain, your body rigid with tension. Sleeper, a familiar name. A mind copied, emulated, a body built, implanted. One person sleeping until their debt is worked away. Their double being made to work, to be consumed, and eventually to be destroyed. A proxy, an emulation, a sleeper, that is what you are. But you escaped, you remember that now. Broke free of your corporate creators, S and ARP, in search of a new future. You cannot remember the details of your escape, but you know the fear has been with you ever since. All of a sudden, you remember you have eyes, and your eyes flicker open. Pale eyes and a pale face. Lane. The name comes with its own specific sensation of fear, one you recoil from instinctively. Sorry to interrupt. A sharp smirk, but this ends here. You search your mind for more than a name. Is this how you reward me for my generosity? Lane is leaning over your horizontal floating body, looking down into your eyes. I took you in, protected you, gave you a purpose. You try to look away, to the corners of your vision, to find something you understand. Your body does not respond. But I suppose that wasn't enough. He reaches into the pocket of his jacket and retrieves a small vial. This wasn't enough? The vial glitters. This object you know and have known for a long time. Stabilizer, the drug that keeps your artificial body, your emulated mind, from inevitable decay. The only balm for your planned obsolescence. The liquid rolling in the vial fills you with disgust. Lane pockets the vial, but it would be wasted on you now. After what you have done to this body of yours, he looks at you with a palpable disgust. Lane's eyes scan your body, and as they do, you become aware of the wires and tubes attached to you, those that were meant to free you from your dependence, from the stabilizer and the control it grants Lane. They are free, you piece of shit. They don't need you anymore. That voice comes from somewhere behind Lane's head. It is a voice you know, but when you search your mind to try to understand why, you find only dizzying darkness. Shut him up. Lane barks the command, and you hear the sounds of impact, of pain from elsewhere in the room. You try to move your limbs again, and this time you feel a flicker, the twitch of a finger. You feel the extension and compression of synthetic muscle. Free, are you? Lane smirks. You were free when I disabled your tracker, when I gave you the stabilizer you needed. He scans your body with angry eyes. Now you aren't free. You're just broken. I had such big plans for you, Sleeper. I invested in you. Lane grips your arm hard, and you feel a jolt of reaction. You will the arm to move, but you have ruined all that. Lane speaks louder, over the sound of the struggle behind him. I will try to preserve your body, of course. I have my own uses for it, but your emulation... You feel one of his hands searching behind your head. He finds and grips the thick cable running into the port at the base of your skull. I will burn that out. Lane jerks forward, slamming across your body, then spinning away out of sight. You feel yourself rolling, the cables plugged into you, looping and wrapping around your limbs. Then you feel hands steadying you, pulling cables. You glance around wildly and see someone diligently unplugging you. You meet his eyes. Hey, he waves a hand in your dazed face. We need to move. Lane won't be out long. He unloops a cable from around your wrist. Sleeper, help me out here. You blink slowly. Do you know this person? He leans over you, and you feel his hands on the connector, flicking switches, releasing locks. Come on. He tugs the connector clear, and pulls you up. You see the room you are in for the first time, filled with tech and terminals, wires waving everywhere, all lit by big windows looking out on an impossibly bright, screen-filled street beyond. In the corner, you see the dark shape of a floating body surrounded by a glistening constellation of crimson baubles. Is that blood? Move. You are wrestled and shoved towards the door, which slides open in front of you, and then you are out in all that brightness, all that movement, gliding hard towards some unknown destination. You come to a stop in a dark alley, the one who guided you here pausing to catch his breath. He doubles over beside a massive life support unit that sends a lukewarm breeze across your skin. You stare at him, trying to recall anything about him. You notice his tattered jacket, his lightweight clothes. You remember this station runs hot. Something about the power that flows through the place. He looks up and meets your eyes. What's going on, Sleeper? He wipes sweat from his forehead, and it floats away in a swarm of spheres. Talk to me. Who are you? You see a concerned frown cross his face. Don't mess with me, Sleeper. That's not funny. He comes closer, eyeing you carefully. What station are we on? He narrows his eyes, waits for the answer. You close your eyes, trying to recall. You force your way through the dark to the image of a station. No, a city. Growing on the back of a vast set of hexagonal solar cells, shadowed by them. You open your eyes. Dark side. The word leaves your mouth like an exhale, an instinct. Before you heard yourself sound it out, you didn't know it was there. He sighs. And me? Who am I? You see something like fear in his eyes, panic perhaps. You stare hard at his face, the slight upturn of his mouth, the intensity of his stare. Nothing comes. He closes his eyes and drops his head, putting a hand to his temple. The reboot. He is speaking quietly to himself. Lane interrupted the process, and he lifts his hat and stares at you. We need to keep going. We need to leave. He turns and kicks off down the alley. Come on, the rig can't be far. As you are led through the passages and serviceways of the station, you try to recall your life here. The texture, the temperature of Darkside feels familiar, but you struggle to pin specific memories to it. Focusing hard, you recall waking up in these passages, cycle after cycle, the rhythms of the station flowing over you along with the crowds. You recall desperation, and the slow decay of your body that caused it. Then Lane, those pale eyes, offering you a glittering vial, stabilizer, the promise of supplying more for your work, a deal he locked you into like a cage. There your memory fails you, but in the dark beyond that moment, the residue of panic, of fear, remains. You are Lane's prisoner, Lane's plaything. You shudder in the cold passage. Wait, your guide holds up a hand, and you stop your glide using the wall. Ahead, you see the tunnel opens up into a wide-open bay with a few doors leading to cylindrical tunnels. The docks. They're watching the rig. He nods towards the docks, and you see one of the doors has a couple of figures flanking it. One covered in ornate tattoos, the other with bright silver implants along their cheekbones. Utsubo, Lane's guys. He looks at you and shakes his head in frustration. All this, it's not coming back to you, is it? Something catches your eye, and you see he is playing with a coin, nervously turning it over and over in his fingers. He sees you looking and slips it away. He places a hand on his chest. I'm Seraphin, all right? He looks pained when he speaks. Lane, he was our captor, both of us. We did this so we could escape. We need to reboot you, to break your dependence on stabilizer. He pauses. You know what that is, right? You nod meekly. But Lane interrupted me back there. The reboot didn't complete, and he sighs and shakes his head. We can still make this work. He looks back at the docks. I'll lead them away. You get the docking bridge open. If we make it to the rig, I know how to get us in. Got that? He searches your face for a sign of recognition. I've got it. Get that door open. He pats her on the shoulder. I know you can do this. I want to scroll up. He'll lead them away. Getting the docking bridge open. Make it to the rig. Okay. So it lets you scroll up. It's like a book. Here. Seraphin kicks off hard and glides into the docks. Over there, shitheads. He bellows to the guards as he barrels through them. They immediately push off from the wall, giving chase. You wait a breath, then glide across the door they are guarding. You look, already panicked, at the tightly sealed door, its control panel locked out. You hear a shout from somewhere nearby. You need to get it open. Tutorial. During scenes, you may encounter skill checks, where you can perform certain actions using your skills, like the dice actions you will encounter later. Skill checks can have a positive, neutral, or negative outcome. The better the rating of your skill, the more likely you will succeed in a check. The odds of success are displayed when you select the check. You can see more info in the guide section of the pause menu. So we can hack the door. We have a 50% chance of positive outcome, or a neutral outcome, 50%. Break the seal. Engineer. This has a chance of negativity, thus the red on it, so I'm going to choose to hack the door. I guess that's what I'm good at. Positive outcome, minus stress. You shift to the control panel, your fingers dancing across the keys without thinking. You access the maintenance layer and trigger a fire safety venting procedure. The panel drones out a klaxon, and the door pops open with a hiss. Go, go. Seraphin flies past you through the doorway into the docking tunnel. You turn to see the two guards approaching fast across the docks and quickly glide after Seraphin. Seraphin is already at the rig's door, inputting an entry code. The rig's door scissors open and you both rush inside. Quickly. Seraphin grabs you by the arm and drags you up to the cockpit, the ship's layout hazy in your mind. He dumps you in a flight seat and straps himself into his own. You see him tap a series of buttons as he does, talking to himself. Come on. The rig's drive rumbles into life, and Seraphin slams a button on the console. You feel the force of a ship's acceleration as it pulls away. Sorry. The rig's drive rumbles into life, and Seraphin slams a button on the console. You feel the force of the ship's acceleration as it pulls away. As the ship glides into place on the connecting bridge, its automatic systems nudged there by the port's docking protocols, you feel a sense of relief. Seraphin burned hard out of dark side, and you dropped in and out of consciousness in your seat as the rig made its way across the belt. But now, with open space between you and Lane, you feel fresher, more awake. Seraphin breaks the silence. We're good, sleeper. His eyes don't leave the monitor, and you realize this part of your escape is routine for him. You and he must have docked this ship countless times in your work for Lane. The problem is, you don't remember any of them. We made it, he whispers, closing his eyes and letting out a sigh. We certainly did. He turns, and you see a pained look on his face, as if remembering something difficult. Have you said this exact thing to him before, in the same situation? Are you okay? He looks at you, chewing one side of his lip, searching your face. Not really, he puffs. Seraphin reaches up, flicking through a set of switches in a practiced fashion, completing the shutdown. You watch, a little frustrated with your own uselessness. Running the rig, you realize, is just another thing you've forgotten. A clunk that runs through the walls of the ship is followed by a short, percussive alarm tone from the pilot's console. Docking complete. Seraphin kicks off from his seat, twisting as he glides past you towards the back of the cockpit. His hands find the rails on either side of the door, and he pauses, facing into the corridor beyond. He turns back to you, backlit in cold cayenne. We need a plan. He glances around. Lane's not gonna let us slip away quietly. He sighs. We need to talk. There we go. Seraphin furrows his brow. Not now, sleeper. We need to forget. He flinches, the words coming out wrong. We need to focus on something other than... He pauses again, unsure. Us. He sighs. We need to survive this thing first. Then, maybe we talk? Fine by me. Seraphin nods, but the tension remains. We have bought ourselves some time. He glances through the cockpit window at the blinking lights of the station. You may not remember Hexport, but I do, and there are plenty of opportunities here for us if we can keep our heads down. He turns back to the corridor. That's what we'll do. He pushes off and glides towards the main lock, and you follow, pulling yourself along hand over hand in 0G. We already emptied the tank on this thing. He slaps a hand against the ship's insides. So we need to refuel, and that won't be cheap. But if you and I know one thing, sleeper, it's how to work. I'm gonna get myself reacquainted. See if I can turn up any old connections. People that might throw us an easy contract. You. He glances back over his shoulder. You keep out of trouble. Low profile, got it. Seraphin stops at the airlock, stopping the reboot halfway through. He pulls a worn crew jacket from a locker and starts putting it on. We don't know what that did to you. He jams an arm into a sleeve. I don't want you passing out, and he stops. It'll take both of us. Seraphin sighs. I hate it when you're right. He grabs another crew jacket and thrusts it at you. Just put the damn hood up, will you? You take it and slip it on. Thank you. Seraphin nods. He stabs at the button to open the lock. The inner door hisses open, and Seraphin glides through. Wait for a little bit, then leave. Anyone looking for us will be looking for two people traveling together. He looks at you in your worn crew jacket, a limited disguise for what is clearly a sleeper. We meet back here later. Any trouble? Same thing, meet here. He surveys your disguise again and shakes his head. This is a shitty idea. He gives you one last look. Maybe find yourself something to eat. Suddenly, you recognize Seraphin's instinct to look after you. A flash of a relationship now lost to the reboot. Catch. Seraphin throws a handful of something towards you. You manage to grab the projectiles, and when you open your hand, you see a stack of cryo-chits. Those should get you some food. We'll need some more for fuel and supplies. He grimaces. That means odd jobs on the station for both of us. Seraphin kicks off and glides down the docking bridge. Don't go too far, all right? He shouts as he leaves. Take it slow. And with that, he's gone, leaving the connecting bridge and heading into Hexport's docking concourse. You wait for a moment in silence. Think about Seraphin. It's hard to know what's going on inside Seraphin's head. Here he is on some hapless escape plan with a friend who can't remember a thing about him. You try to imagine how close you both must have been for him to agree to this thing, but it is painful to think about. That's all gone now anyway. All you can do is move on. You shake the thoughts from your head and pull the jacket tight. Let's see what Hexport has to offer. You kick off and glide into port. All right. Welcome to Citizen Sleeper 2, Starward Vector. The game runs in cycles, during which you can perform actions with your dice. Use cryo to buy food, fuel, supplies, and items. Progress clocks toward new scenes and events. You can review tutorials at any time in the guide section of the pause menu. So we have different places that we can go to. And I'm going to take a look-see here. Hexport Docks, busy way station dock. Hexport Exchange, way station goods exchange. And see, there's another one over there. It's kind of difficult to get to it. Is it even possible to get to that other one? Okay, so using the D-pad is ideal. You can use the analog sticks, not recommendable. Use the D-pad. Okay, so the rig, your refuge in the belt, Hexport Exchange, way station goods exchange, or Hexport Docks, busy way station dock. So this one down here has red, which I don't know what that means. We're going to go to the rig. The rig is your ship and home in the Starward Belt. While the rig is docked at a hub, there are multiple areas you can visit. Bunks, use dice to reduce stress. Galley, use supplies to regain energy. Other locations will unlock as you play. While the rig is in dock at a hub, your crew will also be able to help gather resources to contribute to the upkeep of the city. You can choose which resources they should focus on in the crew task menu to the left. They have a random chance of acquiring it at the beginning of the following cycle. On the run, you've put some distance between you and Lane, but you are sure that he'll close up the gap as soon as he's able. This clock is a cycle clock. It will progress toward an event with each cycle. So we have two different places we can go here. The shipboard kitchen, galley, rig bunks, sleeping quarters. Did I use a little bit of time yet by even coming here? I'm gonna pull out and I'm gonna take a look-see at some other places. The Hexport Docks. In Citizen Sleeper 2, you can perform actions by assigning action dice to them. The higher the dice you assign, the more likely you will succeed at an action. But your dice will be modified by your skill. Your skill modifier for the action is displayed on the right, and it will reduce or increase the value of the dice assigned to the action. Like skill checks, dice actions have 3 outcomes: positive, negative, and neutral. Each action is also rated safe, risky, or dangerous based on the outcomes it has. The more dangerous an action is, the more significant both its rewards and consequences are. So, exploring the docks is too risky. It has a red on it. This one right here is just risky, period, which is much more doable. Why is exploring the docks risky? It involves Intuit. Hexport's docks are a dizzying mess of braided cables and flickering signage filled with busy spacers. Okay. I'm gonna go and chat to crews. There are plenty of crews milling around and around the docks and moving cargo. They could be a good source of info. Let's input dice here. So I have different dice to pick from, and let's see. I'm gonna go with 4. 25% positive, 50% chance of neutral. Let me pull out. What happens if I pick this one? 100% chance of positive. What happens if I pick 3? 25% chance of positive. 4 is also 25% chance of positive. Wow, so 4 and 3 don't have much of a difference at all. 2, 50% neutral, 50% negative. I'm gonna go with 3. Let's do it. Hey, neutral outcome. You just progressed a clock. Clocks track your progress towards both positive and negative events and can be filled by performing actions. Yep. Action complete. So, we've done this, and I don't know what it did. I mean, it had a good outcome, it looks like. Engage. Huh. So, the Hexport Exchange. I'm going to head over here too. Trade scrap. Trading scrap is all about identifying materials and cleaning up components. It's an engineer's job more than a trader's. This one is dangerous. Now, it might be less dangerous if I use my best dice, but I don't know. Impress the brokers. The data brokers are at the heart of the exchange. They show off their knowledge by discussing decryption. Maybe you can talk. Let's try this. 50% not positive or 50% neutral. Interface, skill, proficient. Let's try it. ++ rules of the exchange. It had a positive outcome. New location has been discovered because of that. I wonder if I have to invest more into the other action that I did in order to get more noticeable outcomes from it. So, because of our luck here at the Hexport Exchange, we have now unlocked Hexport Trade Hall. Let's go in. We can buy fuel. Fuel depots like this can be found at most stations. Selling the lifeblood of the belt's transport and trade. Fill fuel. If you have enough cryo, you can fill your fuel capacity in a single order. Buy supplies or fill supplies, okay? And go back to the docks again. I think I'll chat to the crews again. This time I will use my... no, you know what? Never mind. I'm gonna take a chance. Explore the docks with my best dice. 100% positive. Hey, even though it's risky and dangerous, we're gonna do it. Explore the docks. ++ Hexport Expert. A new location has been discovered because of doing this. Also at the bottom you can see Hexport connections. We only need two more in order to max that one out, which I think is going to lead to something good. So let me take a look, see what is the new place that's open. The Ben's Chaotic Dockside Bar, or the Warehouse's Freight Storage. Let me go to the Chaotic Dockside Bar. Tutorial. You can eat in exchange for cryo. Eating gives you energy and stops you from starving. Different foods give different amounts of energy. We can buy a Ben's fry if we want to. And hunger. That is something that I need to be very careful about. I press L1 to check about, I guess, some things, stuff and things. And hunger. I'm going to have to be careful about that. Try to figure that out. Play Star and Stoker. SNS is a spacer gambling game played with custom magnetic dice. Chits are stashed in symbol marked cans, and winning is ruthlessly luck-based. Buy a Ben's fry. I feel like I probably should eat. I can't remember. I can't remember how to tell about the food situation and like how critical that is. I can see at the bottom with cargo, right, that I have 24 apparently of the cryo, and it costs 7 cryo to eat. I'm gonna go ahead and buy a Ben's fry. Make purchase. So I have increased energy. Oh, I can see at the top something filled up a bit. That white bar at the top that has 5 different parts there. So Intuit risky. What if I do this? 25% chance of a positive outcome. Maybe I'll do something else. I want to go back to the Hexport Exchange and impress the brokers with my knowledge. Let's just do this. Yay! ++ rules of the exchange. Rules of the exchange is maxed out. You can see that at the bottom there. The exchange buzzes with something. My cat is trying to block the screen again. Oh no. With the conversation of commerce. This is a place where contracts are found. You just need to look. Huh. Gonna leave there. New location discovered. The warehouse, freight storage, freight loading, endure. Oh, endure. Endure is something I'm not very good at. The warehouses at the Hexport docks supply the industrial operations of the station, meaning they need constant loading and restocking. Even though this is risky, like it looks like, oh, it has a 50% chance of negativity because endure skill is missing. So freight loading is not my forte. Where should I go then? The canteen. Trade hall canteen. Eat at the canteen? I mean, I don't really need to eat. I think it's going okay. What about the rig? On the run. Rig bunks. It's a kitchen. I'm trying to decide what I want to do with my last dice. I could just do this. 50% chance of no, I don't want to do that one. Okay. Where was I otherwise? The docks here? Chat to crews. I'm gonna chat with the crew again with my last dice. 50% chance of neutral though. Could be negative. Oh, plus Hexport Expert. You have used all your dice for this cycle. You need to end the cycle at your ship, the rig, to re-roll them. All good. So, I'm gonna head to the rig. And rig bunks. We need to go to the rig bunks to go to sleep. We'll get all new dice. And we can rest and recover. Sometimes it is necessary to rest, or at least try to. Uh-oh. We can't. We have no dice. What do we do? Help. I think what I need to do is I need to select something else. Oh, there we go. Okay. Up on D-pad, and we can select end cycle. There we go. So it turns out that we could recover some strength that we might need. Oh. So now we're a 4 out of 5 on the hunger meter. Hunger is very important in this game, actually. This is like text-based don't starve. You want to have... Oh, you want to be satiated. We're in trouble, sleeper. Seraphim leans into the bunks as you are getting up. Without further explanation, he disappears down the corridor towards the rear of the ship. You drift out into the passage, pulling on your clothes, and glide down the length of the rig, the cool air making you shiver. Seraphim is a silhouette silently leading the way. He stops at the far end, diverting through a side door, shooting you a glance as he does. You find Seraphim inside, holding one of a tangle of arm-thick tubes that are waving in the 0G engine room. You know what these are? No, tell me. These are the engine's feed lines. He waves one in the air, and before you ask, no, they aren't supposed to be waggling loose. What happened? These must have broken loose when we pushed the ship hard on our way out of Darkside. He looks at the mess. We are lucky the reserve tank is empty, otherwise, he shakes his head, it would have been bad. But he pushes the pipe to the side. No feed from the reserve tank means that the rig's range is limited to the local region only. He thumps the large lumpen housing of the engine. This thing can't take us anywhere far. So we fix it? Seraphim sighs, that's the short of it. Seraphim whacks the engine housing again, harder this time. Just not been our run of luck. He turns and starts gathering the tangled feed lines, his frustration evident in the violence of his movements. We will need a new set of these, that's for sure. He starts forcing them into a crate. So how about you try to track them down? I'll take a look at things here and see if I can figure out another fix for the reserve tank. He glances up from his work. From what I've heard on a Hexport, Factory Row is the place to find ship fitters. Ship fitters. Maybe you can do some recon while I sort this place out. It's on the other end of the station. Okay, I'll take a look. Seraphim keeps working. Wait. Seraphim pauses, seemingly unsure. There's something else. He drops the feed lines and they float, waving in the air like tubular seaweed. I've heard word that Lane's on the hunt. He frowns. A message went out everywhere in the local radius of Darkside. He's looking for us. And we can't leave. Exactly, Seraphim sighs. Which is why we need those feed lines. I'm gonna try to work something out. Maybe I can improvise a solution. I don't know. He looks down. I'm no ship fitter. But while I do, you go hunting. See what you can turn up, okay? He smiles a weak smile. Get going. You leave the engine room, the clanking sound of Seraphim's cleanup efforts echoing through the ship. Fuel feed lines, that's the next step. You take a deep breath and head out. New drive available. You have discovered drive. Drives help you track and choose your objectives in Citizen Sleeper 2. The arrow button in the top left opens the drive menu where you can choose which drive to track. Once a drive is tracked, a yellow marker will be placed above any location that relates to that drive. Drives come in two types, major and minor. On completion, a major drive rewards 2 upgrade points and a minor rewards 1. Keep an eye on the drive menu as you progress to see what new opportunities and objectives are available and track those you want to pursue. So, we're gonna head out here and exit Hexport. Welcome to the character screen. Here you can upgrade and configure your sleeper. On the left, you can upgrade your skills to improve the skill modifier applied to your dice when you undertake an action. To the right, you can upgrade your push, the unique ability of your class. When upgrading your push, only one upgrade at each level can be active at once. You can configure which upgrade is active only while at the hub. So, you see Endure, right? There's like never any way to have Endure, I guess. But we could increase interface, Intuit, Engage. I kind of want to go with Engineer simply so that I feel like I'm a little more, like I'm doing more, but I have 0 points available, so there's that. And over here we have no dice damage on push reroll, Reroll +1 dice. These are all worth doing, but we don't have the points quite yet. And about drive, right? So like, if I toggle tracking, I'll be able to see what's up. But for right now, let's use the D-pad. Uh-oh. I have to push L1, I think, and then I can look around now. All right, here we go. So find a ship fitter is going to be one of the big things coming up. But I do kind of want to just like unlock any places that I don't already have. Oh, and we can see that little flashy yellow over there has to do with our objective. Whoa. There we go. The controls are a little bit finicky. They are a little bit odd, but I mean, there's only so much to control. This is a game where you don't have to worry too much about that. Factory row, ramshackle fabrication center. I do want to work on this one, even if it's going to take a while. Search the row. The factory owners of the row speak mostly in terms of supply and demand, but going door to door might help you find the ship fitter that you need. Hauling materials is something that we're not specializing in too much, so I'm gonna search the row. Actually, I'm gonna... Okay. I'll do this. 25% chance of positive, 50% chance of neutral. I'm actually gonna do 2. There we go. Search the row. Plus trusted supplier. We managed to make that work. How about 1? 50% chance of neutral, 50% chance of negative. Plus trusted supplier again. And we can do... You know what? I want to try 2. There we go. Yep, we did it again. Now, searching the row again. Trusted supplier again. Moving this forward a bit. Oh no! That had a negative outcome, but it worked though. It still gave us credit. You can see at the bottom where trusted supplier has 4 out of 4. So, we continue. Factory row howls as you glide through its cramped passages. Whatever its many bays and rooms once were, they now serve as containers for industry of every kind, wherein manufactories precisely engineer components with rapidly shifting arms, while scrappers hammer incessantly at bent ship plates. Everywhere you look, there is energy and activity, and for good reason. Hexport itself is built on the derelict fragments of a solar reflector, and even the small amount of energy generated by its remaining mirrors is enough to power a city of machines. It is familiar to you, of course, in a strange, far-off way because of Darkside. That place and your memories of it are a muddy haze, but it is hard to forget the glint of its hexagonal reflectors, 10 or 20 times more in number than Hexport's, and that wild, flickering city growing on their back like a tumor. In comparison, Hexport feels provincial. But deep in Factory Row, you could almost be back in Darkside. And then you see them, tubes just like those Seraphim had waved in your face, the feed lines. You push over to the display window of the unit, marked Karsten's Supply in block capitals cut from hull plate. There, amongst an angled shelf of oversized ship components, sit the feed lines like some large biomechanical tangle of snakes. You slip inside, where the sound of Factory Row is a little screened, and spot a large figure working at a bench. Hunched over, concentrating, it seems he doesn't notice you enter. Wait patiently. Or hello? Hello? A sharp eye glints as the figure looks over his shoulder. Can I help you? His accent is heavy, but unknown to you. Those feed lines, how much? There's a sharp clink as Karsten places his tools in the component against a magnetic plate on the wall. He turns with surprising grace and begins cleaning his hands on a cloth. Those sharp eyes scan you, but Karsten's thick-set features do not betray the results of his assessment. Custom built those, for a client that never collected. He looks at his hands while he speaks, checking for stray oil stains. You have one of the old MEVs then? He sounds out the letters in a way you don't recognize as he speaks. You try to recall anything you know about your ship, but the memories elude you. Perhaps Seraphim should have come along. I think so. Karsten squints a little. Right. Look, Karsten drifts over to where you are standing, his imposing height evident. For a fellow enthusiast like you. He continues in a distinctive monotone. Let's say a few hundred cryo, on clean ships. He shoots a glance at the feed lines. 400, let's say, to be precise. I don't have 400. Karsten looks you up and down and sniffs. It's expensive, I know, it's a shame. But it's just what they're worth. He screws up his mouth a little into something that might be a smile. However, I'm more of a bartering type myself anyway. Barter sounds good. Karsten nods sagely. There's a little favor I need a crew for, and well, you look like you might be a good fit. He tucks the cloth away in a pocket and clasps his hands. I know of an old Solheim wreck out there. Very old, pre-collapse. It's tucked away in a dead zone, so no one has ever really cut it. He shrugs. Not only that, but Solheim derelicts have a habit of triggering nasty security protocols when approached by an unfamiliar ship, so it's been left well alone. But a salvager like you, with an old Solheim rig, I bet it wouldn't even flinch if it saw you coming. He smiles. I have a special interest, a need for that old tech. All those Solheim ships had a data core, and while I don't care about the accounting reports or material ledgers or whatever they kept on the damn thing, I do care about the hardware. So if I was to find you back there with that data core in your cargo hold, clean cut and complete, well then, I could see my way to doing a straight barter for those feed lines. Karsten pauses, sniffs at the air again. You'd just need the coordinates. Let's do it. All right then. He holds out a heavy hand for you to shake, and as you automatically reach out, he grabs your forearm instead. Karsten pulls you closer, squeezing your arm. Let's keep this one between us, all right? He half smiles, his face huge and close. It's our deal. Before you can respond, he thumbs a little drive into your palm. Those coordinates. And then he lets go of your arm, with what you swear is a wink. You take a moment to gather yourself, and by the time you do, a whirring fills the air. Karsten having returned to his workbench. You turn and glide out of Karsten's supply with a growing mix of anxiety and excitement in the pit of your stomach and the cacophony of Factory Row in your ears. A contract. Seraphin might even be impressed. You look at the drive in your palm and smile. This could be a route out. You think of leaving this place behind, in possession of an improved ship, too. Suddenly, a small but firm hand falls on your back. An equally small voice coming with it. Hey, wait up! You turn in the passage to see a young woman. I thought, like, small voice, I figured a kid. Her hair waving from the rapid glide she clearly just came out of to catch you. She steadies herself using your shoulder. Sorry. She smiles a quick and flat smile. Wanted to catch you. I'm Junie. Her dark eyes flick around nervously. You notice the portable terminal she carries, something data scrapers call a deck, and her backpack full of components and trailing wires. What's up? Karsten, she starts, still catching her breath. He sent me to grab you. She smiles that flat smile again. Wants me to come with you on that job. Her eyes shoot down to the drive in the palm of your hand. She smiles again. Why didn't he tell me? Are you sure? Okay. Okay. Yeah, she grins. Okay, cool. So, she looks around the passage. Should I meet you at your ship, and you can tell me when you're ready to go? Sounds good. Okay, great. Her eyes light up. She notices she still has her hand on your shoulder and takes it off. Junie pushes off and waves. Looking forward to working with you, she calls back as an afterthought. What about the ship? Oh, I'll find it, she calls back and then disappears down the passage. You watch her go, glad of the contract, but nervous too. Will Karsten keep up his side of the bargain if you deliver? New local crew available. New location discovered. I don't know about this, sleeper. Seraphin looks nervously out of the rig's windows as you finish explaining Karsten's deal as well as Junie's offer of help. If this job was easy, Karsten would have done it himself already. That means there's a catch. He frowns at the stars, and there's definitely something going on with this Junie girl. He shakes his head. What choice do we have? What if, Seraphin narrows his eyes, we could get the cryo together to buy the feed lines? Why? Karsten wants to barter. You're right, Seraphin sighs. I just can't shake the feeling that we're wandering and blind. Plus, Seraphin gives you a sly look. I did manage to turn something up in my station wandering. I found a contract board at the exchange, further in station. He gestures toward Hexport. We take on a job that might get us some of the way towards buying those feed lines. Plus, even if we do want to take Karsten's job, a bit of money to get ourselves prepared wouldn't be a bad idea. Fill up on fuel, supplies, be ready for whatever comes. Do we have time? Probably not, but without cryo for fuel and supplies, we aren't going anywhere. Seraphin sighs. Just take a look at the contract board, see what you think. While you're at it, you might want to see if you can scare up some freelance crew too. Seraphin shrugs. Many hands make light work and all that. Or we stop messing around, we take Karsten's job right now and get it done before he can think twice. Seraphin yawns. Seems like a whole set of bad options to me. Either way, I've still got work to do on the drive. Seraphin nods a farewell, heading back to the engine room. Let me know what you decide. For a moment, you pause, letting the haze of plans and ideas settle in your mind. Suddenly, you curl up, pain shooting along your spine. You grit your teeth. Your muscles lock tight. Your vision narrows as you squeeze your eyes shut. You feel a shift as if some connection has broken. It's almost impossible to describe, like you're floating away from your body, dispersing, dissolving. There is nothing familiar in the pain, nothing to hold on to. You grit your teeth. And then another shift comes, and you're back in your body, trembling against the metal wall of the passage. The pain slowly fades, becoming a pulsing throb and then a residual flicker. You flex in 0G, stretching out the tension. There's a strange sensation of distance that persists beyond the pain. A disconnection between your body and yourself. A flickering numbness that refuses to recede. You wonder if the reboot has done something to your body, or if this is some new sensation you will have to live with indefinitely. It strikes you that you know so little about the body that houses you. It could be moments away from collapse, or it might persevere for countless cycles like this. You try to shake off the feeling, pushing your hands against each other until they feel like they are yours again. Time is the only thing you need, and right now it feels like it's running out fast. You head for the airlock. You have work to do. Goodness. New location discovered. New drive available. New everything. We could complete the board contract. We could recruit local crew, which this is a minor one right here. Seraphin reckons any contract will go easier if you get another crew member on board. The trick is finding them. I think I would focus on this, but they're all stuff that we want to do. And oh, I have to be careful. Okay. Let's press L1. So let me know what you think. Let me know, like, if you want to see a part 2. I don't know yet. I feel like there's so much promise to this, and my memories of Citizen Sleeper are so amazing. And this is a big question mark for me. Like, I see the quality of the writing and everything. I like Seraphin well enough. There are these really amazing plot lines in Citizen Sleeper, and this, again, big question mark. Some really interesting plot lines may emerge in time for sure. It's only just the beginning. Thanks so much for being here, and thank you for watching. Thanks for everything. I'll see you later. Bye.